What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 61, and we start today's episode off with a game against Ipswich Town here at Portman Road in the FA Cup. And this is the last game of January as well, so a last chance for the players to sort of prove themselves and make sure that they're not going to be put on a transfer list to get some possible last-minute deals away from the den. And we do take on Ipswich, and as things stand, we're doing really well this season. We are still fighting in every single competition. We're through to the Capital One Cup final. We've gone through in our Europa League group. We are performing exceptionally well in the league, and we are also still in the FA Cup. So we're doing so well, and the FA Cup is still one of those tournaments. At the moment, it's probably our least priority, to be honest, our worst priority. Mainly because we're into the Capital One Cup final, and we're also advanced through to the Europa League knockout stages, and we're still doing really well in the league. So the FA Cup is probably our least cared about cup. And anyway, we did take on Ipswich, and we did rest a whole chunk of players. However, Danny Ings did start, and he almost gave us the lead in the 34th minute. Great piece of skill by Stanislas, crossed it into him, and Danny Ings, the informed striker, should have made Ipswich 0, Millwall 1. But in the 41st minute here, João Vitor plays it to Scott Malone. Malone plays it back to our Finnish goalkeeper, Mayampa, who gives it to Mark Beavers. And again, there's no panic here. You know, even though Ipswich are pressing us, there's no panic. We've got enough about us to pass the ball through and then make our way out of the box. And that's exactly what happens here. Eventually, the ball comes to Danny Ings. He finds Brian Carrasco. Then João Vitor chips it over the top to Danny Ings. Ings is through again, and he ends up putting the ball past Scott Loach in to the back of the net. So that was a lovely team goal. It really was. And this is just exactly what I like about my style of play. You score such lovely team goals, you really do. And that was a wonderful piece of passing. We kept our composure, and we made it Ipswich 0, Millwall 1. I've made sure we haven't made too many mistakes from passing the ball out from the back this season, so we're doing a lot better on that aspect. But in the 47th minute, we made a substitution here. Adam Jury came on for Brian Carrasco. So Jury, the young man that came from Manchester City on loan this season as a reserve winger, he barely plays, but we bring him on for Carrasco just so Carrasco can get some rest and get an early bath here as we started off the second half. But in the 51st minute, Tab finds Ankerson down the right hand side here. He gets past Scott Malone. He ends up crossing the ball in eventually, or passing the ball into Skoos. Skoos gets past his man, and it's a simple finish for Cole Skoos there. It was really poor. My defending there was so weak. I felt for sure at least one of those Ipswich players was going to, cross the ball or take a shot. Instead, it was a simple pass and a simple finish there, and that was my fault, obviously. But what a silly goal to concede there by me. Stupid defending, and it's Ipswich 1, Millwall 1. But straight from kick-off, Adam Jury goes on a run down the right-hand side, uses pace to get himself into the box, but Simon, the Ipswich defender, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, maybe Simon or something, just gives the ball away, and Jury, who came off the bench, the loan signing from City, barely gets any game time, has a good finish in off the far post there. So a good finish by Jury, but such poor defending by the Ipswich defender, and that made it 1-0 to Millwall. We made another sub straight from kickoff. Zires, the man on loan from Dortmund, comes on here, and in the 76th minute, a lovely cross in finds the striker, and his header loops over Scott Loach and goes into the back of the net. So Ipswich 1, Millwall 3. The two loan signings come off the bench and win us the game as we go through to the next round of the FA Cup. So I've always been someone that signs loan players even if they're reserve players. In every single series I've done, I always look to sign players for cover, and this season I brought in those two players, and even though they're not very good players, they're certainly not pointless loan signings, because when they do play, they're okay, and we do need them for fitness reasons sometimes, and when they do play, they sometimes do alright. So I did read a couple of comments on my last series when I used to sign players like Jamal Blackman on loan for cover in goalkeeper area, and people are like, oh, that's so pointless, you're wasting money, that's just a waste of the wage budget. But they're not pointless at all, man, because you never know when you're going to need them for cover, and they cost barely nothing, and when you do play them, if they do alright, then it shows that they're not really that bad. So yeah, I guess that's the reason why I signed some players on reserve deals, on loan deals, just to sit in my reserves. Although it may seem pointless to some people, trust me, they're really not pointless, because sometimes you do need them. Sometimes you do need to bring off the bench, and if they perform well, and it also means you get to rest the first team players as well. So there you go, we're through to the next round of the FA Cup, and straight after that we had transfer deadline day here. So we had transfer deadline day. A bid came in for João Vitor, but we decided to decline it because, quite frankly, I don't want to see him go just yet anyway, especially not with only 6 months to go in the season. With us playing so well and in so many tournaments, I don't really want to see him go for next to no money and then not be able to sign a replacement because we didn't have too many hours on the clock. But as you can see there as well, a bid came in for Edenilson, but there was only 1 hour left, so no matter what happens there, even if, I think it was Watford that came in for him, even if they were going to match that counter offer, he wouldn't have enough time to leave. So that is why we decided to, we put in a counter offer, but he was never going to leave anyway because there wasn't enough time. But there was an hour left, and that was a look at the business that the clubs have done. The big signings were Neymar to City for 54 million, Aguero went to Spurs for 22.5 million, and Benteke went to Liverpool for 21 million. So I mean, it's not too unrealistic, I guess, because City are doing really well in the league, and really badly in the league in this season, and Spurs are top of the table. But even so, it's just funny to see him go for A, that cheap, and B, to Spurs, and I think he was at Real Madrid actually. But anyway, very, very, very interesting transfers there. And also, here's a look at the international players that have been called up. Carrasco goes to Chile, of course, we're managing Chile. Kelvin's gone to Brazil, and also Danny Ings could win his first England cap, so that's fantastic, isn't it? And here's a look at our youth squad so far. George Gardner and John Joe Anderson, the 15-year-olds, are in there, and they look okay. They'll develop in the academy and possibly look even worse, which hopefully that doesn't happen, but we'll have to wait and see what happens there. And we also have the squad report as well. Of course, we now enter February 2016, so we can take a look at the squad report and see how the players are progressing. So of course, with the transfer window now closed, this is the squad we will have for the rest of the season, and these are the players we will be developing for the rest of the season. So next year, of course, we're already starting to look at targets. Jack Robinson, of course, will probably be our number one target next year. Pick him up on a permanent deal, because I'm sure Liverpool won't let us take him on loan for 3 seasons in a row. So we'll look to get Robinson on a permanent deal next year. And of course, we've got loads of players coming in and pre-contracts, so we'll just have to assess the squad next year. Because we've got like 6 or 7 players joining us next year, we can't really assess the squad right now for our targets next year. We have to wait until we can take a look at how good those players are going to be. But anyway, here's a look at the league table as well. As I said, Spurs are sitting top of the table. We are 6th with 38 points, 3 points behind Arsenal in 5th, and 4 points behind Liverpool in 4th. So it's been an awesome season as things stand. If we can finish in the top 10 places, I'm going to be delighted. I still don't believe that we can qualify for the Champions League. However, it is worth considering, no doubt about it. I don't think we'll be able to do it, but our main aim really is to make sure we don't slip down to the bottom half of the table. Finishing in the top 10 is our priority this year, and I'm confident we can do that, touch wood, so long as we make sure we don't lose big games like this one against Manchester United here at the Den. Of course, we haven't lost at home yet this season, so we've done really well. The Den is just a complete fortress, and we did take on Manchester United with their side under David Moyes, who had Bebe starting on the wing. So how about that? Bebe, the Portuguese winger. Clearly David Moyes sees his potential. But it's Manchester United who have the first chance of the game in the 17th minute here. Phil Jones gives it to Anderson, who's gone on loan to Fiorentina now, but he's given the ball away. It comes to Liam Trotter, who plays a great through ball to Kelvin. Kelvin's got enough about him to get past his man, uses the Burrow spin, gets himself inside. I gave the ball to Larson. Larson finds Liam Trotter, and our captain puts the ball in off the far post there. Brilliant finish by Trotter. I thought I actually messed it up because when Kelvin went inside, I thought there was another United defender, so I went to pass the ball, and there was no one there, so I must have seen a ghost there. I thought there was another United defender, that's why I passed the ball backwards, but Larson rolled it off, and what a finish by Liam Trotter. So it turned out to be a lovely pass and move goal when I could have actually messed it up quite a bit, but it's Trotter who gets the goal, and it was a wonderful strike. He's such an influential centre midfielder, he's a great captain, and that is a wonderful strike by Trotter, past Alex Butner and Johnny Evans, and past Julio Cesar into the back of the net via the post. So 1-0 to Millwall. On the stroke of half time, we had a good chance to make it 2-0 here. Jack Robinson's onto the ball, gives it to Lee Catamol. Catamol finds Liam Trotter. Trotter rolls it out wide to Eden Nilsson. Eden Nilsson gets past Shinji Kagawa. Down the right hand side, step overs, gets himself into a crossing opportunity. Really good stuff, Eden Nilsson. Crosses the ball in, and Danny Ings really should have made it 2-0. He's been finishing those chances all season long, and he should have finished that one there. Great cross by Eden Nilsson. Free volley, 6 yards out, and he puts the ball wide of Julio Cesar's post. So still Millwall 1, Manchester United 0. And in the 67th 82nd minute, a great chance for United here. Wilfred Zaha takes aim and it hits the post, and Lee Catamol gets the ball away. So a great chance for United, who should have made it 2-0 there. 1-1, but they didn't. But in the 74th minute, Fellaini's onto the ball down the right hand side. He gets past Jack Robinson, finds Shinji Kagawa, passes the ball inside to Wayne Rooney, and that was my mistake there. I should have lunged with Fabricio, but I never like lunging in the box, because when you do and when you put too much pressure in, if the opposition player goes down, you usually concede a penalty, and I didn't want to do that. So I made a mistake. I should have been more forceful. I wasn't, and that is why United equalised. But in the 84th minute, a great chance for us to make it 2-1. Michael Ngoose gets past Johnny Evans. He goes through. I didn't want to shoot with his left foot, so I tried to round Julio Cesar, and from the tight angle, I could only hit the post. So that was a great chance to make it 2-1 there. I should have scored. I didn't. And that is how the game finished. So a 1-1 draw, and you have to say it's a good 1-1 draw as well against a strong United side. But with the chances we had, especially that Danny Ings chance, we probably should have collected all 3 points. But we're not gonna complain. I did make a mistake on the Wayne Rooney goal, but we're not gonna complain. We're gonna take the positives. We did get a point against a very strong United side, and we will be very happy with that indeed. And straight after that, we had a monthly scouting update from our Irish scout based in England, and we get to take a look at some of the players and see how they are doing after a few more months of scouting. We rejected quite a few players in this scouting update because they're not progressing, and they're looking worse and worse after every single update. However, there are still a couple of good ones that look okay, so we're going to continue the scouting development on most of these, although we did sign Scott Triggs to our academy as well, and I think we also signed another player, did we? Was it Michael Gardner? I think we did. Did we? I'm pretty sure we signed another one. Okay, no we didn't. Fair enough. But straight after that, we saw that our assistant manager wants us to send Ryan Gould out on loan again because he's not getting in the team. So we probably will send him out on loan next year. He has had his potential glitch fixed now, so we'll probably send him out on loan again, and hopefully he'll come back an even better player. And Michael Ngoose says thanks for playing me more often, and that's okay. And we also had 2 international friendlies. The first one was against Cameroon here with Chile, which we drew one goal each, and the second one was away against Ipswich here with Chile, and we actually ended up losing this game, so that was a real shame. But there you go. We're not doing very well with Chile at the moment, but I guess it don't matter too much because we're not in any international tournaments. But as always, guys, a big thank you for watching today's video. Don't forget to leave a like if you haven't already, and the last thing you'll see is us pick up another Scout Future Star from the catalogue. So thanks for watching today's video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, please consider leaving a like. It's much appreciated, and it really does help my channel out. So leave a like if you did enjoy the video, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.